Okay, so in today's session, I'm going to talk about why you should do company meetings with your virtual assistants and what are the benefits for them. This is the feedback I got from asking my virtual assistants this very question. So the question is this: how do entrepreneurs like us who don't have an endless supply of cash, how do we leverage the best apps, virtual assistants, automation tools and systems to scale our businesses, increase our profits and have more time to do what we love to do each day? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. My name's Dr. Steve Day and this is Systemize Your Success. So I want to cover the benefits of having a weekly company meeting, even if you've just got one or maybe two virtual assistants or a very small team, but from the VA's perspective. And the reason for doing this is I just had a really successful company meeting this morning. We have them every week on a Tuesday. And at the end of it, I actually spent a bit of time asking my team. So currently I have two full-time virtual assistants. I have some other ad hoc workers and some agency workers, but my core team is just two people. And I asked them what the benefit of running these meetings was from their perspective. Was it a good use of their time? Did they get value from it? Should we continue them? Or do you think that they're not necessary? And just as a caveat, we also have a daily stand-up, so a 15-minute meeting where we just cover any challenges, and I do weekly one-to-ones with them individually. But this is a company meeting, so as I say, we've currently got two, we could have more people. And so these are things that we cover in the meeting very quickly, and then what the virtual assistants, what my team felt, why they felt those are really useful things to have. So we follow the EOS system, the Entrepreneurial Operating System, from a book called Traction. And in that book, he describes how to run the meetings, level 10 meetings. So this is based around that. And the key elements of that meeting are to review KPIs, to review our goals, our KPI-driven targets for that week, so the numbers of the company, to discuss any goals, the quarterly goals, to see are we on track with those goals, and then to cover any issues that have come up in the week that need to be talked about with the team. And so I'm going to go through each of those, the benefits that they said of having those key elements in the business. I know their benefit to me as the business owner, but what did my team think? So first of all, talking about KPIs. So having the visibility of what the KPIs are, so what our targets are and what the numbers are. So for example, how many people in the Facebook group, on our marketing list, what our sales were, the time taken to complete certain elements of our business we also track, the number of posts going out, the social media content going out. So these various things we actually track, and people are responsible for those numbers. And what they said was that having those numbers talked about openly and the challenges of why maybe we haven't hit a target, and then we can discuss it. Having that talked about in this group setting meant that they were able to help each other out, to be able to discuss stuff, but also be really clear on what they need to prioritize and focus on. They've got a number. They know that if the next meeting comes along and their numbers have dropped off without good reason, and it's because they've been distracted doing other stuff, that's not acceptable because that's their number. And so having that makes it really clear that this is their priority, like this is what they need to focus on. So they can also, this is something that they said, which I thought was really nice to hear, was they are invested in the company. They don't see actually working for me as working, their words, they don't work for the company, they work with the company. And therefore, by having visibility on how the company is performing, whether that's in sales, in, like I said, growing our lists, in progressing through progress and hitting our targets, that made them feel secure and confident in their job and in their career going forward. And so that was a really, I think, a positive thing to actually openly talk about the wins, the losses in terms of the numbers or the KPIs. The second thing we cover, there's a few things we cover, but the second thing we cover is the goals, the quarterly goals. So each quarter we have a quarterly company meeting where we discuss what are the goals going to be for the next quarter. And we have those on a company meeting. We review them every single week. Are we on track? Are we off track? Or have we nailed it already? And again, that gives us real clarity about when new work comes up, people throw stuff at you. It's really easy to say, well, does it take us as a company towards achieving our quarterly goal? If it doesn't, then we can say, no, we'll park that and we'll do that next quarter. So again, discussing that openly means they're getting clarity. This is the focus of the business, so they're easier to push away the distractions, to push back on me when I give them work that isn't related to that. And that was a key one as well. And they also felt They could see how their role is essential to achieving the goals of the company. And so therefore they understood that they have their role in the company is of real value. And so they felt that was a hugely positive, motivational thing to be able to be clear that what I'm doing today, no matter how small or mean or whatever it may seem in its isolation, when they see how it fits into the bigger goal, it gave them that motivation to do it and to do it well. The third thing we cover is the issues. So during the week, anyone can add issues to the issues board. And this is anything that's come up that's not been able to be resolved, or maybe an issue that needs to be resolved with the team. And we go through and we knock off all the issues. And what that means to them is that they know that once a week they can get their questions answered. And that what they felt was it means they're not badgering me for getting or they're getting stressed because I'm not replying to something, or they're not badgering me and interrupting me because I'm doing other stuff or whatever. They can then know with confidence that once a week there's that opportunity to get that issue resolved. So things don't roll on and roll on, roll on. And so for them, it gave them a more confidence that they would get their issues resolved in a timely fashion every single week without fail. Therefore, they can crack on with their work, hit their targets, meet the goals, etc., etc. That is it. So running a weekly company meeting, we do it for an hour. We've got a very small team. We used to run it for 90 minutes when we had a much bigger team, but an hour, it's ample to get through everything. And that has been a hugely important thing. I actually ditched it for a while and felt the need to put it back in. And I put it back in about 6 months ago, something like that. And I'm so glad I did, because it's really brought the team together. It's also a time for us to connect and actually build rapport, build trust, build relationships. So I think that's a really important element of that as well. So that's it. That's in a nutshell what the team benefited, or how they benefit from us having a weekly team meeting. And the key things, the three things, are the KPIs, the goals of the company for the quarter, and the issues list are the three main things that need to be covered and talked about on the agenda, and to make sure that the staff feel engaged, motivated, and that they are actually adding value to the company. Hope that's helpful. Have a great day, and speak to you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for joining me and listening to this episode. I'm well aware there are hundreds of great business podcasts out there, and you chose to listen to this one, and for that I am truly grateful. Hopefully what you heard today took you one step closer to building a successful business, so you can share your passion with the world and serve an ever-growing number of people. If you got value out of today's episode, then so will someone else that you know. By sharing with others what has helped you along your way, you will grow your influence and be the guy or girl that everybody wants to know. So please hit the share button right now, and also remember to subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss future episodes. It's impossible for me to cover absolutely everything in these podcasts, so please do head over to systemizeyoursuccess.com right now and download the show notes, transcriptions, and some of my best frameworks and systems for free. Thanks again for tuning in and being a part of this amazing community. Until next time, this is Dr. Steve Day, and you've been listening to Systemize Your Success.